We're just talking a little bit about being Mary Jane, which is going to come on at 8 o'clock. And I have a guest here to just kind of talk to us about the news industry and a little bit about the ups and downs that Mary Jane went through.
Yeah.
So tell me about Rate My Station. You have experience in the newsroom.
Right.
And that experience catapulted you into your baby.
Yeah, my business.
Rate My Station.
Yes. Well, I know if you ever heard of Rate My Professor, people that went to college usually use it to find a good professor or, make sure that they don't land a bad professor. And so after 3 years of being in the local TV news industry, it was actually after I left the industry, I made the decision to leave. And, I was on the phone with a girlfriend one day and the idea kind of popped into my head while we were talking about it. And I said, there should be something out there, a platform for people in TV news to be able to tell the truth about a news station that they work for, without fear of being fired or retribution from your HR department or anything like that. And so I built the website. And, essentially it just allows people to go on there and anonymously review a news station. They say if it's great, they say if it's bad. And it's, grown from just anonymous reviews to now I have a blog where I have 2 writers that write in every week. I also have a vlog, so I make videos, and I also sell clothes. I have a store, so it's really just grown a lot bigger than I thought it ever would in the year and a half that I've been doing this now.
So news station hopefuls will go to your website and they will kind of peruse reviews, or they're able to see kind of classifieds from different news stations that are looking for people.
Yeah, it's good that you mentioned that. I also do have a job center as well where people can subscribe and you can apply to news stations that only have great reviews. So it's like specifically to those, if you're trying to, if you're tired of weeding through the good and the bad and you just want to apply to the great, then you subscribe to my job center and you can apply all day there.
How important is your look when you're on television? There were a couple of stories recently about some African-American reporters who had trouble at their jobs due to their natural hairstyles. And in one of the episodes of Being Mary Jane, she was distraught when she took her weave out and realized that the girl that typically does her hair could not do it.
Yeah, right. I have been there, actually. I had a similar situation happen to me where I wanted to get my hair done, and the woman ended up not doing it right, and I was freaking out.
You had to be on camera?
Because I have to be on camera the next day, so I made sure. I came back in the morning and she did it before my shift. But I've been there, and I'm not as bold. I was never as bold as some of the women who are taking their weaves out and going natural, because for me, throughout those 3 years I was in the business, I wore weaves, all the time.
Really?
I never had my natural hair out at all, or not even straightened, without weave. I always had long, straight weave because it's easier to get jobs that way, and it's easier to, get promotions that way. It's not a great thing, but it is a shallow industry. It's about your look and what kind of look you can give. And I know one of the things I struggled with is I have a baby face, right? So I look a little bit younger than I am, and I struggled getting anchor positions because of that. I had news directors telling me that, I had great talent, I had, everything they wanted, but I just looked a little bit too young, not trustworthy enough. So it's really about how you look and where your career can go. So when Mary Jane was freaking out about her hair, yes, I could relate to that on so many levels, because you just can't go in there. And you also have to get permission before you change your look too.
Wow, that I did not know.
You do. You have to. It's important to talk to your news director, your producer, before you make any type of drastic change. And that be a color change, a cut, anything. So for her to have long, straight weave and then go to work the next day with natural, especially where she is in that, she's on a national show, she would have been in a lot of trouble. It probably wouldn't have went well.
Which almost brings me to the time she actually cut her hair into that short bob, and everyone in the office, it was a head turner.
Yeah, everybody loved it. Right. And see, she didn't even have to really get permission for that.
Yeah, we can see that.
in the lower market, you most likely will, because you don't want to surprise your news director or your producer in that way of just showing up with something so drastic. I've seen it be done before. I've seen reporters change their hair. One of my friends just recently got box braids without asking permission first, and she was scared. Like, she told me, she's like, I'm nervous. You know, if I go in here and my news director doesn't like it, I have to take it out. You know. And luckily for her news director did like it, so that was pretty risky for her to do.
I'm over here shocked just because I think that is such a sacrifice, especially us as Black women. We can do so many different dynamic things with our hair. To not be able to go to work looking how you want to look, like, isn't that crazy? That's so bizarre to me, especially because I change my hair every few days.
Right, and as Black women, we do change our hair every few days. That's culturally acceptable for us, but when you're in a white industry where that's not culturally as accepted, the viewers are going to start to write in and wonder. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Monica Kaufman.
Yes,
Monica Pearson now. She's a main anchor, here in Atlanta, and she used to get a lot of backlash for changing her hair so much. Wow. I remember being a little girl, and Monica Kaufman's hair was a topic of discussion because she would just change it so much, and people didn't like it at first, but they grew to love it because she had such a big name, and you can't fire someone that big over something like that. So she was able to push the envelope with changing her hair a lot, and she really set the bar.
That's what I love about this show. BET has introduced such a dynamic character through Gabrielle Union, and this is at a time when the only Black woman I feel like that we saw kind of in that time slot was Kerry Washington.
Right.
And even now, just thinking of Being Mary Jane finally being really over, who do we have other than, Blackish or maybe Insecure if you have HBO? We still don't have, we no longer have that woman character.
Right.
What did that representation, because we do talk about representation a lot, what did that representation of Pauletta do for you, not only as someone in the news industry, but also as a woman who is working a professional job, is juggling a ton of really good looking men, and also doing everything for their family?
Yeah. It was really relatable for me, her story. Of course, when I first started watching the series, I was drawn to it because she was also in news and I was also in news, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so interesting, to watch her story. And although she's on a different level, a higher level than I ever was, because it's national, a lot of the struggles she went through I could really relate to, especially with family and the being single and being older when you're single. I know she struggled with that, wanting to have kids and wanting to be married, and it was just really inspirational to me to watch her fight for what she wanted when she wanted to go back to talk back, and she walked in the news director or I'd call him news director, when she walked into his office and said, this is what I want. That was really like, okay, if I see a strong Black woman demanding what she wants in her job and her career, I can do that too, because sometimes you can get a little scary, and for Black women it's like you just want to be happy because you got a seat at the table. Definitely. And you're afraid to even demand what you want as well. So it was just, I love it. I love seeing it.
And the fact that she was okay when they would kind of make those smart comments about talk back being talk Black.
Right.
Being Black in the workplace and then showing your face on primetime like that, that is, something that I feel like you do have to choose to do.
Yeah.
Because there are so many news anchors who will be okay with not expressing those stories.
Right. And I pushed the envelope when it came to being biased, especially because in local news, like in national news, you can get away, CNN is allowed to be more on the left and Fox is allowed to be more on the right. But when it comes to local news, you aren't allowed to have an opinion at all. You need to be completely unbiased. You basically aren't a person. You're just like the news. That's what you're called when you're walking out the street. Somebody, the media is here. So to stand up and say, like, you know what? I am a person. I'm a reporter, but I'm also a person. This is how I feel about this topic is huge. And I used to do that sometimes. My news director would get angry with me and say there was a riot going on, and I retweeted something or I posted something on my Facebook, like Black Lives Matter, I wasn't even allowed to really say Black Lives Matter.
Wow.
Right. So it's like you're not really they don't like it. They couldn't fire me over it, but my news director wasn't happy, and I heard, rumors of him saying stuff like, we're really gonna have to do something about Valeria, with her opinions getting out here. Because to take a stand like that is hard to do, but I would do it in a heartbeat for sure.
I commend you for that. Let's switch gears a little bit. We both kind of mentioned Mary Jane's dating history.
Mm-hmm.
Who was your favorite boyfriend or suitor or person that she was kind of involved with on the show?
I'm trying to think who was my favorite. I can't remember his name, but he was back in season 2. He was I think he was the entrepreneur, and you remember they broke up because she wanted to have kids. And Sheldon, I liked him.
Sheldon.
Sheldon
DeWitt?
I think that was it. Yeah.
But I thought, was he an entrepreneur? He hadn't. No, he was the bald head one was the entrepreneur. David was the entrepreneur.
David was the entrepreneur. Okay, Sheldon was a writer, or he did something.
He was, something else.
He's a professor.
He was the one that had put her onto that story about. Remember when the black guy committed suicide?
Right.
Not her friend, the other guy.
Right.
The one. Well, I guess both of them committed suicide around the same time. Ludacris, who played the one guy, and then the one guy that was out sitting in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave her that inside information. The guy from CSI.
Yeah. I liked him only because I know she has this idea of like, I want to get married, I want to have a baby. I like that he kind of showed her that there's another world too. Like he was like, we could just be together, like he was like, we don't have to do the whole
No, girl, because he wanted to be together in 2 separate houses.
Yeah, he did want to be together in 2 separate houses. And I was like, I still like the idea of it. I know she did not. She walked right out of that situation, right out of the room.
She should have walked out when he had the toothbrush and everything ready for her, like off rip, and then threw it out. That was so weird to me.
I was like, okay, well, she's not the first. He clearly has, a system here with women. But I liked him for her. But I didn't, as a relationship, like together wise, I don't really think I have a favorite relationship Mary Jane's had, because to me, I feel like all of the relationships she's had up to leading up to this point, they've been a little bit one-sided. I feel like she's very controlling a little bit, and I don't know, I think Mary Jane has her own issues too. So.
But how realistic is that when you are an alpha female to navigate through relationships like that?
Well, that's why I'm single, so I don't know. I don't have a book on that one. I like being single though too. Maybe that's why I kind of related to Sheldon a little bit more, because I do like my freedom and I like the independence, and I don't know if I'll ever get married. I don't aspire to marriage, so that's why it's hard for me to relate to Mary Jane in that aspect of like aspiring to be married, because I don't know. I don't aspire to that.
I like the relationship she had with the little young guy, the football player, the little booty call guy.
Yes, I like that. That was probably
cute.
her like healthiest relationship too. They had it out there what they were expectations were, and it was good. It's nice, yeah. And I remember he had the little, the seizure, and he was there for her when she was going through her issues too.
Yes.
So it was nice. That was really sweet.
But I felt like she always took him for granted and played him to the left.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So then that's Mary Jane being right, having her issues too on her side, because as much as I didn't like her and David, I did feel like she was like the whole pregnancy and how she was like, I'm calling the shots. I didn't think that was fair. You can't just like make the rules and say, this is how it's going to, I talk to God and this is how it's going to be. It's like, you're not even trying to compromise with this guy who's also in this too, So I didn't like that.
When she froze his sperm, I literally, first, I'm so stupid. She really had me thinking like, is it that easy?
Right.
Like, is it that easy? Like, if worst comes to worst, do I need to take notes on how to do this? And then the fact that she knew that she froze it wrong, but she kept it anyway.
Yeah, that was so strange.
So if you guys did something like that, something crazy like that, would you tell your friends, drunk or not? That's something I'm going to take to the grave.
Oh, definitely. I would never tell.
No, I
But
would tell.
great.
I wouldn't tell the Lisa.
I would tell one person.
Yeah, Lisa.
I wouldn't do a judgment friend.
Yeah, the one no judgment friend.
Lisa had an underlying jealousy that she was unaware of.
Right.
But when you tell the friend with no judgment, because they have no judgment and they don't think it's that big of a deal, they low-key got a big mouth. Somebody else is gonna find out. And then you're gonna be out here looking crazy. Some dirt you gotta do alone.
Right. You're telling people, just keep it on the DL.
Yeah.
Like, I did that, I was crazy, but I'll never.
And get rid of the evidence. Throw it away.
Right. Yeah, that was shocking.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like Mary Jane put so much pressure on these societal what is the word I'm looking for?
Norms.
Goals.
Yeah, definitely.
Norms. And I don't even think she really put into mind what having a child would be like with her career and everything she has. You know, you see her, the producer, I can never remember.
Kara.
You see Kara struggling to be a mom and struggling to raise her kids and keep her career. It's like, Mary Jane, do you want that too? Because something's got to give.
I actually think it started.